Student, UPSC aspirant, 6 to 12, history, English medium student. Thank you. After a long time, thanks for joining me once again. I remind you in the last class, chapter 11th. So today's class remaining chapter 11th. So let's go ahead. The Pallav, Chalukya and Pulkesin. Second, prestige. The Pallav and Chalukya were the most important ruling densities in South India during the period. The kingdom of the Pallav spread from the regions around their capital Kanchipuram to the Kaveri Delta, while that of the Chalukya was centered around the Raichur Dwab between the river Krishna and Tungabhadra. The capital of the Chalukya, was an important trading center. See map 7th. It developed as a religious center with a number of temples. The Pallav and Chalukya frequently raided one another's land, especially attacking the capital cities, which were prosperous towns. The best known Chalukya ruler was Pulkesin II. We know about him from Prestige composed by his court poet Ravi Kirti. He tells us about his ancestors who are tracked back though 4 generations from father to son. Pulkesin evidently got the kingdom from his uncle. Both the west and the east coasts. Besides, he checked the advance of hers. There is an interesting play of words in the poem. Hers means happiness. The poet says that after his defeat, hers was no longer hers. Pulkesin also attacked the Pallav king, who took shelter behind the walls of Kanchipuram. But the Chalukya victory was short-lived. Ultimately, both the Pallav and the Chalukya gave way of new rulers belonging to the kingdoms administered. As in this case of earlier kings, land revenue remained important of these rulers, and the village remained the basic unit of administration. There were some new development as well. Kings adopted a number of steps to win the supports of men who were powerful either economically or socially, or because of their political and military strength for distance. So, first, some important administrative posts were no hereditary. This means that sons succeeded fathers to this post. For example, the poet Harshen was a Mahananda Nayak, or chief judicial officer like his father. Second, sometimes one person held many offices. For instance, besides being a Mahananda Nayak, Harishen was a Kumar Amat, meaning an important minister, and Shandhi Vigrahik, meaning in minister of war and peace. Third, besides important men probably had a say in local administration. This included the Nagar Sarthi of chief banker or merchant of the city, the Sarthwa or leader of the merchant caravans, the Prathama Kulika or the chief craftsman, and the head of the caste or scribes. The policies were reasonably effective, but sooner or later some of these powerful men grow strong enough to set up independent kingdoms. Let's go ahead. A new king kind of army. Like earlier rulers, some of these kings maintains a well-organized army with elephants, chariots, cavalry, and foot soldiers. Besides, there were military leaders who provided the king with troops whenever they needed them. They were not paid regular salaries. Instead, some of them received grants of land. They collected revenue from the lands and used his to mention soldier and horse and provide equipment for welfare. These men were known as Samtha. Whenever the rules was weak, Samtha Shamant tried to become independent. So let's go ahead. Assemblies in the southern kingdoms. The inscription, the Pallavas mentioned a number of local assemblies. These included the Sabha, which was an assembly Brahmin landowners. This assembly functioned though subcommittees which looked after irrigations, agriculture, operations, making roads, local temple, etc. The ruler was a village assembly found in areas where the landowners were not Brahmin, and the Nagaram was organized of merchants. It is likely that these assemblies were controlled by rich and powerful landowners and merchants. Many of these local assemblies continue to function for centuries. And let's go ahead. Ordinary people in the kingdoms. We can catch an occasional glimpse of the lives of ordinary people from plays and other accounts. Let us look at some of these. Kalidas is known for his plays depicting life in depicting life in the king court. An interesting feature about this place is that the king and most Brahmins are shown as speaking Sanskrit, while women and men other than the king and Brahmin use Prakriti. His most famous play, Abhijan Sakuntala, is the story of the love between a king named Dushyant and a young woman named Sakuntala. We find an interesting description of the Palighat of a poor fisherman in this play. The Chinese pilgrim Fahyan noticed the Palighat of those who were treated as untouchable by the high and might. They were expected to live on the outskirts of the city. He writes, if such as a man enters a town or a market place, he strikes a piece of wood in order to keep himself separated. People hearing this sound know what it means and avoid touching him or brushing against him. And Ban Bhatt provided us with a vivid picture of the king army on the move. So that's enough today's class. I meet you next class with questions with answer. So till then, bye bye, take care. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe and share. Thanks.